And we're live. Okay. The public budget hearing for the Fourth Grove School District is called to order in accordance with ORS 294.430 at 5:32 p.m. This opportunity is for public comment regarding the 2025-26 budget approved by the Budget Committee and referred to the school board for adoption. Currently, we don't have any public comments regarding the budget. However, we are going to hold a 5-minute space in order to allow for public comment. While we wait for public comment, please allow me to introduce you to Senor Ramos with the ballot folkloreo as he shares about the program and final performance tonight. Welcome, and we'll have you come up to the table.
Good afternoon. My name is Manuel Ramos, and I returned to this side of the state in 1998 when I was given an opportunity to teach as an ELD facilitator at NAMS. And then in 1998 is when I started my very first ballet political here at the West. Yeah, I already had one in Eastern Oregon when I taught there for 21 years. And these dancers right here represent my highest level of the group. They're level three dancers. And right now, currently, we have about 200 dancers in our repertoire. And you will be able to see all 200 dancers. They come from parts of different schools in our district: Cornelius, Echo Shaw, Fern Hill, Joseph Gale, and some of them even travel from the Beaverton area. Because we start them as early as second grade. We start second grade, giving them basic dance that they have never had. And this year, well, this is my second year where we have my partner Janway and I are both directors. So we have developed coaches to help us teach the fundamentals of ballet folklorico. And that is where we're at. We're going to be celebrating 26 years this coming weekend. We open up the show. We open up the doors at 6 o'clock Friday, okay, at the high school auditorium. And we start the show at 7 o'clock, yeah. And then we do the second round the following day, which is Saturday, June 14th. You will be able to see a 2-hour show of our repertoire. And you will also see a collaboration with the director of the Mariachi Tradición, Leslie Nunez. They will be there. So we invite you to all come out and enjoy part of our culture. It's only a little piece of it. But these dancers will be out there representing 6 different states in Mexico. And that's one thing that you need to realize, that in Mexico, it's not just one costume. It's just not one style of dancing, not just one style of music. Every state has its style of music, its style of dancing, and its costume. What you witness out there comes from the state of Chiapas, and you're able to hear it in the marimba. You hear a lot of marimba there. And so, yeah, and sometimes you cannot even tell where one dance starts and one dance finishes. Oh. That's why we were able to produce 2 dances right there, 2 of them. And so when we come back, you'll be able to see dance number 3. Okay? Thank you so very much for having me.
I have a couple, are there any questions or comments?
I just want to say thank you guys so much for coming and performing for us. We love to watch you and had a great time. Thank you.
Thank you.
I did want to ask about the preparation to move to level 3, how long it takes to become a level 3 dancer and what that looks like.
Well, they actually go through course level 1. I have a story to tell you. I have this dancer by the name of Sinai Murillo. Stand up, okay? Yeah. Sinai Murillo went ahead and did level 1 and level 2, and then she decided to stop doing this genre and wanted to pursue salsa. And so she left us for years, and And then she came back just this year and she goes, Maestro, can I try it again? And I go, yes, mija, but you're gonna have to start at level 2. Well, I started her off at level 2, but she's ready for level 3. And there you have her level 3 already.
And how many hours of practice on a weekly or?
On a
what's
weekly,
practice
we start at, well, sometimes we call early practice from 5:30 to 6:30 when a certain step needs to be shown. And then we start practice from 6:30 all the way to 9. Yes, that's good. Yes, that's commitment.
Well, we truly appreciate, as Val said, your presence here tonight. You're gonna be live streaming so our community can watch the performance,
Yeah.
the final performance, and we really appreciate the time.
Another piece of information I want to share with you is that this coming September, we've already hired a professional folklorico dancer from the state of Guadalajara. He is coming over to our area to work with our coaches and our dancers to collaborate with and put a curriculum together to start, how to start our little ones the way they do it in Mexico and to help us grow even smoother in folklorico land. So he will be here for 5 days.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're gonna take just a minute to allow the ballet to refocus and join up on the stage for our final performance.
Please go.
All right, it was wonderful. This is gonna go down as the best budget hearing meeting ever. We really appreciate the joy and the smiles and the technique and the footwork and your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
You're welcome. All right, and this concludes the public hearings and public testimony regarding the 2025-26 Forest Grove School District budget. The budget hearing is adjourned at 5:44 p.m. Thank you. And then I'm gonna call to order the June 10th, 2025 Forest Grove School District Board of Directors meeting at 5:45 p.m. Roll call, board members present. Val? Here. Brad?
I'm here.
Mark? Kate, here's Paula here, and Christy is here. If we can all rise to the flag salute.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'm looking for approval of tonight's agenda. Okay. Second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Tonight is technically Paula has graduated, so there is not a student representative report tonight. We are going to be talking about Paula just a little bit any bit later. We are going to move on to board reports. This is an opportunity for the board to share information and updates, to provide input for future board items, and discuss or report on any committee meetings they have attended. Before we say some thank yous tonight to our outgoing board members and also our student rep, I do want to take a minute because a pretty significant vote happened today on Senate Bill 916. And four Senate Democrats actually joined Republicans to vote no on moving that forward, and it's moving into committee. Actually, I see Councilor Martinez is here, and I noticed in the testimony that she and I both had testimonies submitted. Is that correct? Oh, anyway. Okay, sorry. There are people that have submitted testimony. We've been very vocal in our opposition and how that is logistically going to be impossible for school districts to manage, as have cities and counties. And so the vote today was pretty significant. There were two Democrats in particular who switched their votes to a no. And I'm going to encourage the board. I shared that article, but we had OSBA reach back out to encourage board members and community members to make sure that we are sending some thank yous to those senators who, as you can imagine, are probably going to be taking some heat for making that switch, but it's just very inspiring. One of the messages I left with staff was that I was really inspired by people who are looking at the policy and being able to make a decision based on policy and not based on political pressure. And this was an example of how people making those choices to do that. I also think influence other newer legislators. I personally talked to a newer freshman legislator who was a little bit nervous about figuring out when to vote no and yes, and what that looks like, and the pressures you have from being newly elected with your constituents, and being able to watch veteran legislators make that tough decision and take the heat for it, but doing the right thing for their schools and their cities was really impressive. So we want to continue to encourage people to pay attention to that. It was supposed to be in committee today at 3, and the paperwork was not there in time, so it's going to be tomorrow morning at 9:30, and that committee will be continuing to look at a couple amendments that can either cap. They still won't be the things that we're advocating for, but one of the amendments I think they're trying to work in is a 12-week cap on unemployment. Dr. West might have more information to say about that, but that just was coming out as I was in the parking lot. We're getting communications about it, so I wanted to bring it up. But now we're going to move to some more fun and also kind of.
Wait, can I say,
yeah,
is this time to do shout outs or say committee things or whatever?
yes.
Okay, I wanted to give a shout out to the boys lacrosse team at Forest Grove High School, who were the Cascade Cup champions this past weekend on Saturday. It's quite an accomplishment, so Want to shout them out. Thanks.
Nice job.
Thanks, sorry to stay on. Just wanted to throw that out there for 'em.
Great. Anyone else?
Okay, now you can go. It's just me.
Okay, hold on. All right, so we're gonna start tonight with Paula. Last meeting was technically Paula's last meeting, but as it was with Nate the year before, Nate came back for the meeting after graduation, and as Paula was leaving, we were like, wait, you're coming to the next meeting, right? She's like, no, I think this was my last one. I said, no, it's absolutely not. You must be coming back because we do a goodbye. And Belinda's here as well, her VP. And so we wanted to honor her tonight and say a few things. I'm gonna ask the board to chime in, but I am gonna read what I read at the Spotlight Awards from our board to honor our representative, and I'll start with that. I know we have some gifts we'll talk about and then other words that people want to share, and we've already heard this in Spotlight, but I think it's worth reading again. It is with great appreciation that we recognize Paula Garcia Andrade for her service on the Forest Grove School Board. As an elected representative from the high school, the student representative engages in discussions around budget, policy updates, and legislation. And luckily, they also bring their unique voice and energy to the board meetings. Paula's board updates provided information about high school events and celebration, but her leadership went beyond the boardroom. Recent comments she contributed about her classmates' discussion around the cell phone policy, which is currently a hot topic at the state legislature, provided insight about student concerns. Her testimony in Salem in support of funding for the Cornelius Community Center was recently featured in Representative Susan McLean's last newsletter with a video. But perhaps the most effective leadership attributes she displayed were her calm and positive demeanor, always listening with intent and with a smile. Paula's leadership on our board, along with support from her ASB team and teachers, shows how every person's voice makes a difference. We are excited to see where she goes from here. We have no doubt she will continue to make a positive impact in this world wherever she lands. Congratulations on your graduation, and thank you and your leadership team for all of your service this year on board. I'd like to invite the board to share comments as well, and Dr. West as well.
Thanks, Paula. We appreciate your time and commitment to serving on the board with us. Wish you nothing but the best at U of O.
Yeah, I would just say you are just so calm and really, I mean, really, I don't know, calm and focused, yeah, and just really great. I mean, you're just really good on the board. Thank you. And you're gonna be a duck. Go guys. That's my comment.
I'd just like to say thank you. You're flying, but you're a powerhouse behind the flying.
Yeah.
We really appreciate all you've done, and it was really fun to see you at graduation and that wonderful scholarship that you got for foundation. It was good.
I'll add my thanks to everyone else's and build on that by saying, this is such an important role. And I'm so grateful that we were willing to serve in this role throughout the year. We work really hard to educate our young people, but you're actually experiencing all those efforts underway. So for you to be in this role and to be able to say, wait a minute, this is what it looks like from our seats and make this decision, that's crucial for us to hear. And again, I'm grateful that you're willing to speak up, that you were willing to serve in this role for the entire school year, give up your Tuesday nights a couple times each month. Thank you for that.
And I want to also thank Bethany, who made sure that we have a care package there for you from University of Oregon. I am going to add this to the package. I knew that Brad, you would say this, but I gave one of these to Nate because although you are going to the University of Oregon, which is a great school, my alma mater is University of Washington. And
We
so
don't care.
now I realize this is a pencil, and I thought about this. Nobody probably uses pencils anymore anyway. But what I told Nate was, I'm adding this to the package. This is a magic pencil that you can say when you are at University of Oregon and you get stumped and there's something that you just can't figure out. This is a one-time use. You can sharpen it and it will bring you the answer that you need. And so I just want you to remember, we are all working across the aisle. And thank you so much for your service this year. And thank you, Belinda. Belinda, what are your plans next year?
I'm gonna be attending Portland State University. I'm gonna major
in sociology and then also a minor in criminology. And then I'm still gonna be working, or actually, I'm a cadet with the Beaverton Police Department. I don't know if I've ever said that.
Oh, cool.
So, yeah, I'm gonna continue working with them while in college. So that's great.
Good job. Leaders continuing to lead, so thank you so much for. And then we're gonna keep it rolling, even though our board members, oh, are you guys? Technically not, she's already put in her time, how about I only got her exam.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, thank you so much. Grab a cookie or a cupcake, I don't know, 2 cookies.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Wanda, have a great summer.
Thank you.
All right, and for our board members, there is one more meeting.
I was gonna say, do we have to come to the next meeting? Is
That's
that
what I'm saying.
do we?
We need a quorum.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
One of you needs to. You can rock, paper, scissors for it. We do want to take a few minutes tonight, though, just in case all 3 of you aren't at the final meeting, to talk a little bit about the service that that these 3 have given to the board. And because I'm fairly still new, this is only year 2, but Kate has really spent the majority of time with these 3. She is gonna say something a little bit more, but I wanted to point out something that I was thinking about. And one was that I started to add up the hours that you put in on the school board over the course of a year, and then you times that by essentially 8 years. And I added all the board meetings that we do, the one-on-ones. I did not even include the budget meetings. In addition to that, the exec sessions did not include things like the superintendent search. And over the course of 8 years, these 3 have put in over 1,000 hours. And I think school board is one of those jobs where there's so much that happens behind the scenes, as we all know in our jobs, in all of our jobs. You're doing the work that maybe nobody sees, but these 3 are doing the work that nobody sees, and they're not getting any pay for it. They're volunteering the hours. And I think it's kind of a combination of the 2 that really, there's no way at the end of a career like this to express how significant that is. But I think for people in the room and other elected officials especially, you understand the commitment that that's taken. And I think each of these 3 have added something different to the board. Mark, to me, one takeaway that he brings to the board that I think is going to linger is really the focus on academic rigor and curricular focus for kids and time in schools, and the conversations we've had. And he's really pushed for making sure that we hold high expectations and we get kids in school as much as we can and make sure that that's our priority. And his expertise in the budget and answering questions for me about those things that I just would not be able to do have been appreciated. Brad, I self-assigned Brad as my mentor as a new board member, because you don't get a mentor. And so I just said, hey, Brad, can you be the person that I call when I have questions? He didn't know what that meant. But I will say that Brad, no matter when I called or texted, I think Brad was always getting back to me, sometimes within the hour. And it was always something that was helpful. It was a conversation I could have with him about whatever I needed to have. And he was able to always be there when I needed something where someone else wasn't available. I really appreciated that role. And Val, I mean, it's been just such a pleasure to be on a board with 2 women that have no problem sharing their opinions. Val, what Val brought to this board was just a very strong, just driven focus on what we need to be doing for kids. And there's just some stories I won't share at the dais, but Val's gonna go down as having probably one of the best moments ever I've had in elective office, with just some feedback that she provided, and I just was so impressed and very inspired. So there's just been a lot that this board has done together. We haven't always agreed. There's been some tension. I think we've kind of rode the waves and we got to a place where we all understood each other. But despite all of that, what you always felt sure of is that with this up here, we were going to be doing the right thing for kids. And I think a lot of us are seeing what happens on school boards across the state and the nation when you don't have people that are aligned and focused and just want to work together. And I know that this is rare. And so I have really, really appreciated working with Jamil. I'm gonna pass it over to Katie.
But I wrote some things down. All the naughty things we did.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
We met in 2017 out at my log cabin and had dinner. And we made a list of 10 things we wanted to get done. And I wished I had that list because we covered a lot of it. And I just, I'm just gonna go through some of the things here. You all agreed on outdoor school. You know, that was a real critical issue, and the legislators went and allowed for money, but very few people applied, and by us applying when we did, we ended up getting everything, camping and all the stuff that had got moldy or, you know, the mice got into, et cetera. You passed the budget for a book budget. We didn't have a book budget. Positions for aides, we had no aides of course I'm going to talk about libraries. Smaller class sizes. We put in a policy so that we would have 8% in reserve, which has served us really well. We approved the library adoption, and we've done a lot of things together. The focus of all of us has been our students, and every decision we've made, we've always focused on what's best for students, and every single person on this board, that has been the focus. I want to say that what's unique of this board is that we're all educators. We're all educators, and I think that's pretty unique. Each one of you have brought something different, like what Val said, you know, Mark, academic rigor, excellency. You also have been on the budget committee. You've been on I don't know, every position, you know, chair, vice chair, negotiations. And that's been one of the nice things about the board is that we have shared the roles. And other than, I don't think anyone except Mark and I have done policy. Nobody's been eager to jump in and do that.
I mean, when two people do it so well.
I don't know about that. You know, and Brad, I mean, everybody contributes, but Brad's focus on diversity and our special ed kids, just outstanding. And Val, your passion and love for sports and reporting on sports. And, you know, everybody has brought something different, but we've all come together with the support of the students. And I just would like to say, I deeply appreciate each and every one of you. You know, it's been a long journey, and you've gone through 3 superintendents. Well, not
No.
We have 3.
I was gonna say.
We're not getting rid of you yet. But I just want to say thank you. I deeply respect you guys, and I really appreciate what you've done for our community, in our community, but also for our kids and our teachers. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I'll jump in and wrap this up. Again, thank you. As I've said before, the support of a board is absolutely necessary for a superintendent to do her work. And this board has been tremendously supportive my first year. Couldn't have asked for better. And the council that the 3 of you have given over the course of the year, helping me learn the culture and navigate the community of Forest Grove, share the history, that's invaluable. And there's a part of me that is a little nervous to give all that up. I know that you're still embedded in the community, and that if I absolutely need something, I hope you pick up the phone. I actually call it. But I really could not have asked for a better first year in this community, and it's due to this team up here, and especially the 3 of you and how committed you are to the district. So thank you very much for that. We do have some gifts there for you. You don't need to open them now, but just want you to know that they are student made. So we hope that you will appreciate these gifts. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And I just want to say that teamwork makes the dream work. So, I mean, we couldn't do any of this without all of us. So I think everybody should try to remember that and treat each other with respect and, you know, work together to get things done, the best things for our kids.
All right, we are gonna move on to superintendent report with Dr. West. Great, thank you. It is the beginning of the month. Where I need to point to get this to go. There we go. So sharing the monthly enrollment report. As I've been bringing it to the boardroom once a month throughout the year, this is where we currently sit with our actual enrollment compared to what we budgeted. Throughout the year, the number has incrementally increased, and you can see that we are now in June with the greatest variance of 169 difference between what we budgeted and students that are actually in our schools. So we've already gone through our process with the budget committee. We've made the adjustments that we feel that we need to make to account for the loss of enrollment. We project that at least for the next couple of years, we will continue to see incremental declines like this. We are hopeful that about a decade out, we'll stabilize and start to see increases again, but the forecast is that we will continue to see declines. I believe I shared in the boardroom a couple of weeks ago that with the economic forecast for the state economic officer shared that we have flipped as a state, where it used to be that our state population had more young people than those over 65. We now have more citizens over 65 than maybe young people. It's going to take a little while for that to reverse. Moving on to our regular legislative updates. We have a lot that is still in process. This hasn't changed from last week, but what has changed is the next slide right here, where you see that the school accountability reform bill has been passed. It has not yet been signed by the governor. There's all expectations that she will sign it. And so what that does is it introduces some new accountability metrics for us here in the state, all of our public K-12 environments. There are some implications down the road if schools are not meeting those accountability metrics and standards. It will be a little bit of time before we see how this plays out, because once the governor signs this, then the bill will go to the Department of Education for some rulemaking. But we expect within the next year or so that we'll see what those new requirements are and what how schools need to adjust to those. And then the governor's budget has also passed 1.36 billion. So we're grateful for that. The changes that were made to the CSL were really important. Those changes have been codified into law. So going forward, we should continue to reap the benefits of that. And just as a reminder, some of those changes include previously the CSL for a biennium was calculated 50%, but our allocation was actually 49%, 51%. That seems like a small thing, but it accounts for millions and millions of dollars across our system. So those small little technical adjustments matter. And we're, as I said, grateful that they've been codified into law. So that's it for the legislative updates. Just a couple of things to share from the last 2 weeks. 2 Saturdays ago, I attended the 10th anniversary performance of Mariachi Tradicion. It was at the Research Theater in Beaverton. Excuse me. I think it is not an exaggeration to say that the mariachi brought down the house.
Yes.
I heard somebody in the audience.
Yes.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance. Not only was the student performance stellar, the emotion that they communicated to the audience and the response from the audience was next level. And if that wasn't enough to conclude the evening, alumni of the mariachi joined our current students on stage for a final piece. They performed together. Truly remarkable. I wish we had a recording of it. And for those who were there, testify just how powerful a performance that was. The students are incredibly talented. We all know that if you've seen the mariachi perform. And all credit goes to Director Nunez for the work that she has done to build up that program and really give the students the stage to perform as well as they have. In addition to that, I attended the Chicas program graduation. I mentioned that before. Last week, I had an opportunity to sit with Adelante Harris,
which is the community-based organization that runs our teachers program. And we do this at least once a year where we have check-in just to see how the program is running. I wanted to share a couple of things that I learned through that check-in. For this current school year, the Chicas program supported 209 students. All 209 students had access to after-school and one-on-one support, either with a Chicas advocate or with the family engagement coordinator. The 209 students participating included approximately 20 students from each school in our district, give or take a few. Throughout the year, there were 186 sessions of 90-minute bilingual after-school programming offered to the 209 students. The programs included a youth leadership camp for our middle school students, a STEAM career exploration, tours of universities, college readiness workshops, including support filling out applications, the FAFSA, submitting essays, those sorts of things. And then more than a dozen family engagement opportunities throughout the year as well, where the Chicas program staff work directly with families to support their students. This type of community partnership is incredibly important for our students, and it's a partnership that we're committed to continue. The Chicas program has been in place for 16 years, and my understanding, based on the data that was shared, is that every single student who has participated in Chicas has graduated. That's pretty remarkable. So if Adelante from Harris is watching, thank you for the support you're giving to our students. And then the last thing to share is that we had our graduation ceremonies last week. We had the graduation at Calc. Our Community Alternative Learning Center graduated 60 students this year. That's 20 more than the previous year. That's outstanding. 60 may not seem like a large number, but they have less than 200 students. So that's a very good graduation rate. And then at Forest Grove High School, again, very good graduation rates. There were, I believe, more than 400 students that participated in graduation. Of those, 90 students earned a seal of literacy. There were more than 300 cords, medals, and other awards that were given out. And the graduating class this year between the Community Alternative Learning Center and Forest Grove High School, they were awarded more than $4 million in scholarships. So lots of credit to our high school staff for the work that they're doing to support our students and helping them graduate on time. And lots of good wishes to our graduates as they go off into the world. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Dr. West. I do not believe we have Forest Grove Education Association comments in the meetings. I don't see anybody, but we do have one public appearance, public comment, finally. Thank you. I'm not even gonna read the stuff because we all know this. So welcome, Mayor Wenzel.
Thank you. Good evening, Dr. West, Forest Grove School Board, district staff, community members. I came here today to say thank you to the whole school board, but specifically to the 3 outgoing. I feel like there's not a whole lot left to say because Christy is the chair. But anyway, I'll say what I'm saying. Just kidding, Christy. But well, like my role as mayor, teacher, and parent. Most people know I love the city of Forest Grove, and so do all of you. And you have shown your love by putting students first, and that makes our community better. So, I mean, Brad taught me, Mark taught me, Val taught me some things occasionally. But I mean, you talked about the hours of volunteer, and I would say the centuries of serving students is wild. It's remarkable. It is scary, Dr. West, for them to leave this position. But I think that you all have put people in, you've mentored people this session, and you hired a really good superintendent, which will make things a whole lot better. So just some highlights that I've seen as a teacher and as a parent. You were really focused on lowering class sizes, 2nd grade or younger. You brought back outdoor school. You hired support staff. I mean, and who could have even thought about COVID? Like the craziness that happened during COVID, you withstood that. You lifted all students. while being fiscally responsible. I mean, you have a really good staff to help you with that too. So anyways, I'm not gonna go on too long so you get back on agenda for real, but I just want to say thank you so much for choosing to do this for not just students, but for our whole community. So thank you very much, and I'm gonna peace out to my son's end of the school year thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well said, Mayor. All right, we are up to consent agenda. We're gonna catch up. It's made of routine, non-controversial items to be voted on under one motion. Are there any items within the consent agenda a board member or superintendent wishes to discuss separately?
No.
Seeing none,
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes and we are up to presentations. Chris Mejia, Bond Oversight Committee member. Welcome. He is going to be talking to us about the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee Annual Report.
Thanks, Chris, for
And Director
doing
Clues.
this for us.
The report is actually in front of you guys. We will post that to the website after probably tomorrow. But we will get that posted for you.
For the record, Nate is my nephew.
That's right.
Yeah,
Debbie's proud.
yes,
That's what I thought. You look like that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, love Nate.
Yeah,
Nate's a favorite forever. You're missing.
yeah, my daughter was also a sport rep, and I was one too.
Oh, wow. It's all in the family. Who's coming next for us?
Funny, so, from the Bond Oversight Committee, you have the report in front of you, but I'll read a little bit of the highlights. So we meet, quarterly, and it's, we're charged with the program progress, schedule spending, and ensuring the bond is fully realized. The committee must report annually to the school board, which you're doing. This has kind of been a long journey for me. I think I've been involved with this for about 12 years. Started with a long-term planning, got roped into that, right? And then it just kept going from there. So it's really, really cool to see this coming to fruition and all of the great things that come out of it. So it took a lot of time and effort from me and a lot of other people that have been doing it. So right now, we're at 147.9 million total resources for the bond. We've expended and committed 116.3 million with 31.6 million remaining. Out of expenditures, we have expended 7 million, or 47.3% of the projected bond. We also, in addition, 46.3 million has been encumbered and formally committed. So like I said, there's 31 million remaining. So also, if you look in the next paragraph after bond and expenditure covenants, we are meeting the 5% expectation of covenant. And in 6 months, we have 85%. Right?
Yeah, within 6 months, we have incurred 5%, and then within 3 years, 85% of the sale meets. So we're meeting those covenants.
Right. Anything from scheduled projects? Did you have anything?
No, other than this is gonna be the busiest summer of the bond.
Yeah. It's gonna be busy.
I feel like I heard that last summer.
So busier.
Busier.
Yeah.
Last summer kicked it off. This summer is definitely gonna be a whirlwind.
It's probably already, I mean, it's just ready to go right when the bell rings on the, right?
Friday at 5 o'clock.
Okay, and everything, all the parts and everything's okay.
Stage.
All right, I know, busy. Yeah.
So the next page, talk about, in the reports, has, moving more projects to completed in progress. So as you see here, they've completed quite a bit of projects, and we have very few coming up. Right now, we have, Tom McCall on hold and Joseph Gale on hold, but because of summer school. Right, gotta have summer school somewhere, right? So other than that, everything you see there is in progress and or planning. So in summary, Overall, the district is on schedule, on budget, it's on track to meet the board commitments of measure 34. Gotta have some.
So are the lights scheduled to go in this summer too?
Yeah, it's got approved.
Okay, so those are going,
They're installing.
okay. Whew, this is a lot in one summer. It's just a lot.
Yeah.
We are kicking off on Friday. All staff has to be packed up at Cornelius, Harvey Clark, many rooms at NAMS, a couple rooms at Dilly, and, no, I'm missing some. Burn Hill, is having minor stuff inside the building done, but we are kicking off the construction for the addition. But it won't have as big of an impact on staff this summer.
How does that work though, then if they're supposed to report on Monday, they don't have a classroom to use?
Staff have an option of using another building or working from home on Monday,
When did they get, are there still kids Friday?
at the secondary
So then how does NAMS pack up their classrooms?
with support.
Are you sure about that?
The
If
kids,
not, I hope they say something. We've been trying to communicate as best as we can, giving as much notice to those classroom teachers as we can. We have also given additional support, additional 8 hours of time between the time we gave notice to the end of the school year.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just if you have kids in your classroom, you can't really pack up or get all the way out until you don't have kids anymore. So even if you had the weekend, this past weekend,
Because of the 10-week wonder of the summer construction, having contractors able to get in and start with abatement and demo first thing on Monday is essential for us to be able to, it's kind of, do you allow staff to stay longer in June, or do you not let staff in early in August?
yeah, that's what I mean. I'm like, well, that's what I was kind of wondering, why even have them come in? If they had to put in their own time to shut down the classroom Friday night, say, if they're there Friday night at 8, why should they be having to work on Monday?
And that's where, depending on the classroom and the classroom needs, the administrator has flexibility to work with with individual teachers on what their needs are. I know Harvey Clark, we've also added, Harvey Clark specifically, we've added lots of extra IA time. So teachers have been supported with IA time, over the last few weeks, and they requested more IA time. We've given it like whatever it's going to take. We also have offered packing assist. So if they're not done by 5 on Friday, we will help support with packing.
it'll work out.
Yeah, can I ask about communication over the summer to the community and families? Is that coming kind of school by school through school communications to families, or I know there was that flyer, this might be a question for David too.
We are working on an updated flyer. I think you're talking about the newspaper that came out a few months ago. So we have a draft, and David can correct me if I misstate here. We have a draft that is almost ready to go. So that will be sent out to all of our households like it was last time. Beyond that, are you thinking of other types of specific communication?
No, I'm just wondering, people will drive by and Cornelius is speaking and all of a sudden, what's happening for people that aren't in the know with the schools? Where would they'll probably go to the website to see that information. Maybe there's news articles and the usual things, but okay.
I have one more question. When they decide on the opening date, are we just send that as an email out, like, I mean, because I won't be on the board anymore, but folks might want to go to Cornelius' opening ceremony.
The opening ceremony is already scheduled. I think it's August 26th.
I have it in my calendar, but I heard it was kind of tentative.
At
Nope.
this point,
Well, I
that's
hope
the
not at
schedule.
this point.
Yeah.
That is the schedule.
So August 26th, like at 4 or something.
I think so.
Yes.
I think that's what all right, thanks.
Chris, as a bond oversight committee member, you've been through all of this, and you've been on the bond oversight committee for the last couple of years. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience on the committee, what you see across the district as a community representative?
So this has been an awesome experience. I think that Eileen and her staff and everybody else from the school district has done an excellent job in not only the oversight and the spending of this, but the extras they've gotten us, the grants, the matching funds. I think that that is one of the most amazing things to see as a citizen. And also, parent and, doing a volunteer as well. And doing this for the last 12 years, I had no idea, no expectation that this would happen. I mean, I think our first bond we thought was something like 60 million, I think is what we were thinking that we could do. And I mean, it's amazing that it's, come to fruition with this amount of money and then matching funds as well. So I also really appreciate the fact that, the money's well spent. And they've been very thoughtful in how it's spent and also all the extras that you've got. I think that's amazing. I never thought we'd get to have turf. And as some of you guys know, run a soccer club. I mean, that's one of the most needed things around here. Our inventory for fields is nil. It's nothing compared to most cities and districts. So yeah, that's one of the best things that has come out of this. I didn't expect that, but it was great that it has. And then now lights, those being added, I mean, that's going to be huge, really huge for a lot of our kids, a lot of the kids, and also adults. I have a team of adults as well that are playing semi-pro, and a lot of them are high school students. Came up all the way through from elementary here locally, and also Pacific University students, which is also a good way for them to know and meet each other. So I found that it's been outstanding, and I appreciate all the work and time that everybody's put into it. Anything else?
Thank you for the commitment that you've made. You said that you started all the way with the long range facility plan.
Yeah, it was 12 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tremendous amount of time. So thank you for all that effort that you've put into it.
Of course. Well, it's been, great. Like I said, my daughter was a school board rep as well. And, that spurred me into realizing that we needed to do something, as far as capital projects for our district. So. Yeah, thanks. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
All right, we are up to the 2025-26 budget adoption with, Val.
Okay. I was the budget committee chair this year, so I'm going to bring us up for the action item. Oregon local budget law and Oregon administrative rule require budgets to be adopted and appropriations made prior to July 1st of each year. The school board is also required to adopt a resolution levying ad valorem taxes for 2025 through 2026 for the general fund and debt service funds. The general fund levy represents the permanent rate to be applied to all taxable property for the 2025-2026 school year. The debt service levy is the amount required to pay debt obligations of the district for 2025 through 2026. Be it resolved that the board of the Forest Grove School District hereby adopts the budget for fiscal year 2025 through 2026 and the total amount of $240,683,067. This budget is now on file at the Forest Grove School District located at 1728 Main Street in Forest Grove, Oregon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Seeing none, I'm going to take a roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Christy?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Be it resolved that the amounts shown below are hereby appropriated for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2025 for the following purposes: general fund, special revenue funds, food service fund, debt service fund, capital projects fund, community enterprise fund, internal service fund, and trust and agency funds. Do I have a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Roll call vote. Mark?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Christy?
Yes.
And I am a yes. Be it resolved that the following ad valorem property taxes are hereby imposed upon the assessed value of all taxable property within the district for tax year 2025 through 2026. Number one, at the rate of 4.9142 per $1,000 of assessed value for permanent rate tax. Number two, in the amount of $13,587,300 for debt service on general obligation bonds. And be it resolved that the taxes imposed are hereby categorized for purposes of Article 11, Section 11B as subject to the education limitation, permanent rate tax at 4.9142 per 1,000. Excluded from limitation, general obligation bond debt service, $13,587,300. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion? I'll do a roll call vote. Mark,
Yes.
Kate,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
Christie,
Yes.
and I am a yes. Thank you so much. The budget passed.
All right, thank you, everybody. Supplemental budget resolution number 24-25R:03 with Director Clute.
Good evening. Tonight, the first resolution we have is a supplemental budget resolution. This is to increase our general fund transfer appropriation to the PERS reserve account. This is to help offset our future PERS costs. Our goal is to create an additional PERS side account in the next year. So we are looking to transfer $1 million to our PERS UAL reserve account. This is because of the additional state school fund adjustments we had from the prior year allocations and all of the year-end reconciliations along with the final interest revenue that we've got last month.
Questions? Do I have a motion to approve the supplemental budget resolution as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Right, motion passes. And next budget transfer resolution.
Okay, the second one we have is a budget transfer resolution. This one is for the grant funds. It is to transfer $700,000 from the facilities acquisition and improvement function to the 3,000 enterprise and community function and 2,000 support services function. Last year's adopted budget, or this current fiscal year's adopted budget, included, we had an appropriation for facilities acquisition and improvement just in case we needed it through the closeout of the ESSER funds. And we did not end up using it. So as we are closing out this year's grant funds, just looking to transfer that to the 2,000 and 3,000 functions to make sure we have enough appropriations.
Do I have a motion to approve the budget transfer resolution as presented?
So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, Director Clute. And now Dr. Kim Bashir, Director of Student Services.
Good evening. You have before you the proposed new youth contact contract. This indicates that there'll be a 3% increase in payroll for the 25-26 school year, and the youth contract agreement covers a 1.0 at the high school. This person delivers really much needed intervention, mental health services to students and families, and also substance use prevention and intervention. And that would just continue these services for the 25-26 school year. And I realize in here, it says that I've attached data in here from the quarterly progress, and I didn't give that to you, but I can have that and forward it to you this week.
Other questions? Do I have a motion to approve the contract as presented? So moved. Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you. And contracted staffing services.
Thank you. So I'm here with that 1.0 school psychologist position that's open. It's a temporary position. We have a staff member who's going on leave next year. And so we need to fill that position. It's a hard to fill position anyway, being temporary. It's been challenging to find someone. We have the position posted. We haven't had any applicants, but we're going to continue to keep it open, hoping we get external applicants. What we'd like to do, though, is have the option to reach out to some contracted agencies in the event that we can't find our applicant for the position. So asking for up to $167,200 for 1.0 school psychologist. Questions?
Do we have a motion to approve spending up to $167,200 for a 1.0 FTE school psychologist position that is vacant in student services for the 25-26 school year? So moved. Second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Passes. Thank you. And technology manager Enrique Pignon with classroom technology upgrades.
Hi, thank you. So the action item before you is a continuation of the classroom upgrade projects as part of the bond. This specific one is to address the upgrades at Equishaw, Harvey Clark, and Forest Grove High School. The board had already previously approved the specific contractor through the RP process that we did doing the upgrades, which was Portland Electrical Construction for Pecky. So the action item before you is to approve the projects that they'll be moving forward with at Equishaw for $81,780.25. Harvey Clark for $91,046, and at Forest Grove High School for $258,623.05. So the recommendation of the board is to approve Pecky to proceed with the classroom upgrade projects at Equishaw Elementary, Harvey Clark Elementary, and Forest Grove High School. A total cost of $457.30, utilizing bond funds.
Any questions? All right, do I have a motion to approve Pecky to perform the classroom technology upgrade projects at Equishaw Elementary, Harvey Clark Elementary, and Forest Grove High School at a total cost of $431,000. I don't know why that's cracking up. $457.30 utilizing bond funds. Just reminds me of.
Is it like Pecky moved?
Is that the elephant?
Yes, it was,
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is that okay, Bethany?
I feel like Ricky needs to do one more, so you guys each have to. Ricky, you got one more for us?
That's it.
Come on.
Oh, that was it. Okay, all right. Oh, no, it's me. All right, superintendent's contract addendum. In May 2025, the school board completed the evaluation of Superintendent Dr. Suzanne West. Following the evaluation, the board approved an extension of Dr. West's current contract through June 30th, 2028. The extension includes the following amendments. A continuation of the cost of living adjustment aligned with that of the licensed association through June 30th, 2028. Beginning in the 2025-26 school year, an annual adjustment to the district's TSA tax sheltered annuity contribution equal to the percentage of the cost of living adjustment. Do I have a motion to approve the contract addendum as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll do a roll call vote for this. Mark?
Yes.
Kate?
Yes.
Brad?
Yes.
Val?
Yes.
And Christie is a yes. All right, motion passes. And I think,
Thank you.
no further business, meeting is adjourned at